Radio host Garrison Keillor is back home recovering from a minor stroke he suffered last week and says he expects to launch a new season of A Prairie Home Companion on schedule the weekend after next. We saw him in action recently at another kind of show, an unusual contest where young people were the stars, and what was exciting was the reciting. Poetry has been the stuff of all kinds of competitions. Consider poetry in motion, poetry in a human face.
The rain is full of ghosts tonight.
Not long ago, we found a competition where the poetry is poetry itself.
I was miserable, of course, for I was 17.
Welcome to the finals of the National Poetry Out Loud competition, a joint project of the National Endowment for the Arts and the Poetry Foundation.
I know what the caged bird feels.
200,000 high school students from across the country took part. Then the 53 finalists gathered in Washington.
You were 40 and married.
Alabanza, I say.
It's a poetry contest, not writing it, but reciting it.
Life is but an empty dream. For the soul is dead that slumbers, and things are not what they seem.
David Bellamy is the contender from the great state of Michigan.
You need to come with the mindset, I want to win.
First prize is $20,000.
Poetry is not something that has generally been a
Competitive sport.
A competitive sport, yeah. I saw you, Walt Whitman, childless, lonely old grubber.
Kareem Sayegh is the Illinois champion.
It turns into this kind of weird feeling like, yes, we're here to celebrate something that's been enjoyed for many, many years, but at the same time, you're here to go against other kids your age.
What if we got outside ourselves?
Students can choose from more than 600 English language poems.
And in this flea our two bloods mingled be.
A few students even chose the same poem. This one, Rudyard Kipling's If.
If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you.
If you can keep your head
When all men doubt you.
when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you.
So how do you judge the merits of a poetry recitation? Scott Simon, the NPR host and contest moderator.
Now, contestants will be evaluated on 7 criteria: physical presence, voice and articulation, evidence of understanding, level of difficulty, appropriateness of dramatization, accuracy, and overall performance.
These kids all have a great time.
But Garrison Keillor of Lake Wobegon fame, one of the judges, takes a more, free verse approach. What are the standards you apply?
I just want to hear a young person stand up there on that stage and give me a poem in a way that moves me. And when that happens, it's electric.
Electric, too, are some of the contestants' names.
Sit on my lap, you said.
Here's South Dakota's champion, Wiyaka, his horse is thunder. And how about Tiffany Hill of Oregon? Her recitation was in American Sign Language. It's William Wordsworth's I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud. It goes like this. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze.
I wandered lonely as a cloud because I like to be quiet. And that poem had no sound in it. It was just a guy wandering and seeing some flowers.
Of course, whether you sign it,
Come up from the fields, Father.
recite it,
We can pull and haul and push.
or perform it,
Tomorrow.
first, you need to memorize it.
He was running with his friend.
It's more than just memorizing. It's more than just reciting words off a page.
Turned his head.
Amber Rose Johnson, the Rhode Island champion.
You have to really feel it. And other people have to feel that you feel it.
And his body was scattered across the field.
Memorizing, a concept that's poetry to Garrison Keillor's ears.
I was made to memorize a poem by Helen Fleischman, my 10th grade English teacher, when in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I all alone beweep, my outcast state.
So you still remember it?
Well, of course I do. Everything else that I learned in high school is gone. Algebra, disappeared, eroded. Biology, I can't identify trees. Physics, plain geometry. But 14 lines of Shakespeare.
Right there.
Yeah, right there. Do you want to hear the whole thing? Or?
Thanks, just a second.
A silver Lucifer serves cocaine and cornucopia.
As Emily Orellana, the Nevada champion, was reciting, her mother Kim's feelings could hardly be put into words. She traveled here from Reno, even though she's battling brain cancer.
Wild horses couldn't have kept me away. There was nothing that could have stopped me other than, being put in the hospital.
For Kim, knowing that Emily made it all the way to Washington on smarts and spunk gives her faith that her daughter will have the tools to continue her own life's journey when the time comes.
As a mom, and the fact that I'm terminally ill, to see my daughter find her niche, her thing at this early of an age, it brings me a lot of peace.
I think it's safe to say the students have been just extraordinary. Could we have another round of applause for all of them?
In the end, after 2 days and nights, it's time to hear the judges' verdicts. Each who spoke out loud what's in her, by being here, became a winner.
And finally, from the state of Virginia.
But only one can they proclaim, and William Farley was his name. So happy, to paraphrase poet James Wright, if he stepped out of his body, he would break into blossom. Coming up, why candy is dandy. You're looking at what Hershey calls the world's largest chocolate kiss, joined on this special occasion by a cast of dozens. As it happens, Milton Hershey was born on this very date in 1857. But it isn't candy's past that concerns